It's Craig Huggins here, and I'm so excited because WWE NXT will be here in Australia next week. And joining me, well, it doesn't get any better than this. It's the WWE NXT champion, Samoa Joe. G'day.
G'day, man. How you guys doing?
We're really looking forward to seeing NXT, the first time that you've brought the show on the road to Australia. It's so exciting.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, we're really excited to be out in Australia. Actually, we're kind of heavily represented with Australians in our brand, so I know a lot of them are really excited to be back home. And, I think we are a very unique WWE experience. I mean, we're very diverse and we're very competitive, and I think, in my personal opinion, we're the best brand in the company.
Well, what I love about NXT is that it's a little more intimate. The stadiums are a bit smaller, and it just feels like, as a spectator, you're sitting right on top of the ring. It's going to be so exciting, Samoa Joe.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we like to keep our crowds a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate, but I think they're just as rabid as a large stadium crowd. Our fans are very, very interactive. If you've seen their ability to chant different things or watch any of our shows, it's very apparent that fan participation and kind of being a part of the experience is definitely what NXT is all about. I mean, it's a performers in the ring, but it's also our fan base, which is, I mean, honestly, the wildest in professional wrestling.
Would you agree that the majority of the roster, I guess, on NXT are trying to show their wares, show what they're like to move up into either SmackDown or Raw? And I guess that's why it gets even more exciting, because they are doing their absolute utmost to put on a show.
I think so. There's definitely that hunger there. And it's funny because in the last few years, NXT's kind of evolved into its own brand to where many people on NXT don't really consider it moving up, but moving over. I mean, in the States especially, there's definitely more television coverage with Raw and SmackDown. But when you talk about the hardcore fan base, when you talk about fans who really enjoy athleticism, professional wrestling, sports entertainment, all these things combined into the most competitive format. And seeing some of the most passionate guys, because like I said, a lot of these people are trying to make their mark in the world. Some of us already have and kind of have a lot of experience going in. But, I mean, you mix all these elements together, and it kind of makes what, NXT is so unique and why people enjoy coming to our shows.
WWE NXT playing Perth, Canberra, Melbourne, Newcastle, Gold Coast and Sydney. You can go to tegdainty.com.au to get your last-minute tickets. But, of course, the tour starts next week. Hey, Samoa Joe, we're pretty excited because you're going to put the championship on the line in Melbourne up against a nemesis of yours in Shinsuke Nakamura. What do you got in store for him?
Well, I mean, if anybody's seen any of my Shinsuke's past encounters, they're very volatile, often violent, and usually end with somebody knocked out in the middle of the ring. So if you're into that kind of entertainment, if you're looking for that when you go out for a fantastic night of sports entertainment, then I guarantee you should definitely show up to our shows, because that's what you're going to get. Shinsuke Nakamura obviously is a world-class athlete in his own right. For as much as I despise him and may dislike him, I can't discredit him for what he is. I mean, he was by far Japan's greatest ace, a megastar in Japan, and to see him come over to the Western world and make his mark is something quite special. And to, kind of be involved with him in the ring and being able to put myself to the test against somebody of his caliber. Normally fireworks pop off, and there definitely will be fireworks when we get to Australia.
And to add to that, of course, you're going to be inside the steel cage. So what does that bring to the match?
Well, it brings a kind of a newer level of violence. I mean, when you talk about sports entertainment in general, I mean, you have guys out there doing these amazing things, and some of the most hardest hitting athletes in the world, and then you wrap them in a steel cage and you put them in the middle of the ring, and you tell one guy that only two men may enter, but one man will leave. It makes for quite a night and quite a spectacle. So I'm looking forward to it. Many people wouldn't, but I'm very confident what I can do to Shinsuke Nakamura. I just beat him in Toronto for the NXT Championship, and I plan on beating him around that cage when I get to Australia.
And even more exciting for the people of Melbourne is that a lot of the Melbourne show is going to be filmed for the WWE Network, which is where we get our NXT action. Can you just tell me, Samoa Joe, what is the deal with you wrestlers with Islander heritage? There's so many of you. Are you just angry guys?
No, I mean, I think, if anybody knows when you talk about the Polynesian Islands, I mean, many of our cultures are very warrior-like in some aspects. I mean, if you look at rugby, you look at, in the States, the NFL, and you look at pro wrestling, we're very heavily represented. And I think that's just kind of the gist of it, man. I don't think it comes as any surprise to anybody. I mean, if it involves knocking heads and getting in there and getting a little rough, then, usually Polynesians are all about it.
I can't tell you how excited we are to see WWE NXT down here in Australia. And as you said, man, there's a whole stack of Australians in there. We're talking about the likes of Peyton, and when we've got Buddy Murphy's going to be here, just a bunch of Aussies. You're going to be outnumbered.
I know. For once, and they have home field advantage. So, it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
WWE NXT is playing Perth, Canberra, Melbourne, Newcastle, Gold Coast and Sydney. Grab your tickets at tegdainty.com.au. Are you leaving Australia still the NXT champion or not?
Well, I'll be walking in the NXT champion, and I will be leaving the NXT champion.
Man, it's been a pleasure to speak with you, Samoa Joe. Thank you so much for joining me.
Take care. We'll see you guys at the shows.